Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this channel. If this is your very first time to be here, kindly go ahead and subscribe. Like the videos that you find in my channel. In here, we talk about personal development, finance, and investments. And of late, we've been talking about budgeting and how it affects us, and the reasons why we should always budget every coin that we get. My name is Geshure Rungu. Welcome to this episode. Now, the country is going through the budgeting period, and in the month of June, we'll hear the budget from the finance minister. But then again, let's think about ourselves as individuals, whether we have had a budget and whether we really actually do follow the budget that we make when we are spending. One of the things that I want to emphasize to all of us is that the need to account for each and every shilling that you receive, each and every coin that you get from work, from businesses, from side hustles. You need to account for each one of them. It's the only way that you can be a good steward. Yes, I have used the word steward because that is what we're going to be talking about. Because I looked, today being a Sunday, I asked myself one question. What does the Bible say about budgeting? And I did a small research just to find out if the Bible does actually speak about budgeting in any way. What is interesting is to find that there are principles there that mirror what we know as budgeting today. Well, they didn't have the word budget then as we know it today. They didn't have that concept at the time the Bible was being written. But in the wisdom of God, I think there were some nuggets here and there, some Bible verses that were speaking about budgeting. And it was very interesting to find these Bible verses. And that is what I want to highlight for us in this short video. I hope that you'll enjoy it as we speak about them. And I'll start with the word stewardship, because the Bible talks about stewardship a lot. And when you look at the word stewardship in details, stewardship involves budgeting. And in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30, it speaks about somebody, a rich man, who was going for a journey, and he gave one bag of gold to one servant, another he gave two, and to another he gave 5. And when he came back, he found that the one he gave 1 did nothing with the money or with the gold, and the one he gave 2 was able to get times 100 of that, 100% of that, together with the one that was given the 5 bags of gold. So it is interesting to find that the Bible speaks about stewardship in this way, that when you get the resources that the Lord has provided you with, in whichever way, either through a salary or either through a business that you're doing, and you get resources, how you use it, how you use those resources will determine whether you will get more in future or you will not get. So that was interesting to find. So the Bible really emphasizes on that. So that is one of the portion of the Bible that talks about stewardship and about budgeting. So it's an interesting way of looking at it. Number 2, I found it in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. This is what it says, and I'm going to read. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. It talks about planning. And budgeting is planning. So this particular Bible verse is very interesting because it encourages prudent planning, and it also encourages careful consideration of the financial decisions that we make. If you make the wrong decisions, poverty will come to you like you've never seen before. Budgeting involves planning ahead and exercising foresight of the resources that you are going to receive. So that is why it is critical to make these plans. And then the other one that I found that was very interesting was Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. It says, allow me to read, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender. Isn't this what is happening in the world today? The rich countries, for example, are ruling over the poor countries because they are lending to them. Look at China, look at the United States, look at the EU and all that. And then look at the countries in sub-Saharan Africa and look at the other countries, in the whatever is called the global south. Why? Is because the rich countries are able to lord Lord over the poor ones because they are rich. How do they do that? They lend to them. And we are suffering the consequences of borrowing heavily in this country. We are suffering those consequences. The same happens to us individually. If you borrow a lot, you are going to be a slave of the person who keeps giving you that kind of money or resources. So that's a principle number 3 from the Bible that I found that was very interesting. That is avoiding debt. So you should always know that debt is not what is envisioned for you as a child of God. Then the other interesting Bible verse that I found is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 to 10. It says this, but godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with this we will be content. My guys, it's a very interesting principle of budgeting. The reason why we budget is that to avoid unnecessary spending, is to avoid using money in unnecessary quotas that we don't need to. When you budget, you cannot misuse your money. You're able to prioritize your needs. You're able to prioritize your wants. You're able to avoid what we call the impulse buying. So contentment, because you know what leads to impulse buying? It's a form of greediness. And it's been discussed here in the Bible. It's a form of greediness because when you see something and you cannot help it, you can't help it. You just want to go and ahead and buy that thing, despite the fact that you've not paid school fees for your children, despite the fact that you have not paid your rent, despite the fact that you have not done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are led into that thing. It's a form of greediness, which I found here very interesting from those Bible verses. So you see, these are some very few of them, which I can only contain in this particular video. But if you guys are interested in hearing some more, kindly let me know in the comments below. Write a comment, and I'll go back to the Bible and I'll dig deeper to find out about what the Bible talks about budgeting and any other topic that you want us to talk about. Otherwise, thank you so much. Those are just, I think, 3 or 4 principles that you've spoken about, and actually 4 that I found in the Bible about budgeting. Guys, make sure you budget every coin that you receive. Is the resources that God has given you, make sure you use it wisely. Otherwise, that's my time. My name is Gishuri Rungu. I hope that you've liked this video. Please go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, and share this information with as many people as possible. God bless you and thank you for your support. See you and bye-bye. Kwaheri ya kuonana.